All right, Chris, set piece savant, how do you approach getting a whole league's worth of new set piece data to analyze and try to play against?
Yeah, I think, look, it's just no different what we do in MLS. We get the data from, obviously, they're only 4 games into their season right now. So we take the 4 games from this year and from this season for them, and probably 2 or 3 of the last or the back end of last season for them as well, and kind of, go through it. Obviously, teams have changed some players, changed some coaches, the setups may have changed, but really, from our end, nothing changes for that side of it. Just looking at, their data, seeing what they do and don't do well, seeing where we can hurt them and pull them apart, and seeing where we're going to have to be good defensively to, continue our run that we have been in MLS. So, yeah, really nothing changes, but just looking at as much as we can to get, the best picture we possibly can of them.
Are there any differences you see in the Liga MX teams? Maybe more physicality, more of the dark arts in the box?
Yeah, I think for me, that they're a bit more zonal in what they do defensively, especially on corners. That they like to take away space rather than the man. So, here in MLS, it's a little bit more of a hybrid, or you have full-out man marking. I think there's a few teams, especially the team we're playing on Sunday, T1, a big group of boys. I think there's 4 or 5 boys at 6'4" plus. They're very savvy on the ball, short corner-wise. They've got some good players they can play with. So you just got to be alert and aware of what they may do. But I think for us, it's just business as usual. We take away their strengths and try and hurt them when we can on defending set pieces. But again, pulling them apart on our attacking stuff is going to be important as well.
We see that Liga MX is a bit more physical. We've seen a couple times this season they've been a bit more ticky-tacky and calling aerial fouls. The one against Rafa, we had one against Miles Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you take into consideration when they're playing against a more physical style league?
Yeah, no, I think, I don't think we kind of look at it that way. We'll kind of tell the guys that, look, they're a big group of boys. You're up against a big group of guys. Delivery, obviously always a factor for us at looking where they deliver the ball, first contact, second contact. But I think for us, again, it's just, business as usual. We'll look at what they're going to offer each team, break it down thoroughly. We looked at it this morning and try and, A, from our attacking side of it, can we pull them apart and where can we hurt them? And then B, from the defending side of it, what do we do well and how we can continue to do that? And then where can we stop them in those moments as well?
I know you're not going to give away the story, but you have like Tijuana, who's bigger guys.
Yep.
One of the bigger guys we have is Maxu, and
Yep.
then there's kind of goes down from there.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you kind of take that into consideration when you don't want to change too much,
Yep.
but you also want to give yourself the best opportunity?
Yeah, I think for us, it's just looking at, our guys that are good in the air, Maxi, Rafa, Murph. What can we Calvin? What can we do, Cole? Where can we hurt them? How do we use those guys in certain areas? Again, what are the areas we can pull them apart to get those guys into those open positions to hurt them? And then where do they struggle? First contact, second balls, and things like that. So, yeah, it is using the guys completely. But again, without giving away too much of it, can we get those guys in positions to help us and hurt them?
Georgie and Andres, when that set piece goal finally went in, talked about not necessarily the counting stat in the game or for themselves, but getting that validation for you. What was that like from your end, finally breaking the dam on the set piece goals?
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, what the guys give me and the team on set pieces is amazing. Their diligence to knowing their roles, continually doing their roles, and obviously everyone knows over the last 6 or 7 years, we have been on both sides of the ball, the best team in MLS by a country mile. This year, the best defending team in MLS. We haven't scored as many goals as we would like to this year. I feel like it's coming. But I think, more so than for me, for them, it's validation that their hard work, their continued hard work, their diligence is paying off. And, they're so good with it. They're so diligent with it. They're fantastic in the video. They're fantastic on the field with it. I'm just happy for them when they finally crack it and can score a goal.
You mentioned that you feel like it's coming. Has it felt throughout the season like something has been gone wrong, or is it just kind of a matter of you can plan as much as you want, but things aren't going to go ideally in the field?
I don't think anything has gone wrong at all. I think we have a person on the ball who has fantastic delivery in Georgie. We've seen that, time and time again, game after game. Teams are obviously coming here to us, or when we go there and taking us a little bit more, okay, these are very, very good on set pieces. So a little bit more diligent in their setup, probably a little bit more concentration in their setup, which obviously then we have to find ways to kind of pull them apart and get out of our structure what we want. So I think, look, when you look at the XGs over the course of the games, we're up there with everybody. It's just finding ways to get the first contact on things, get to the second balls, and continue diligence with our setups, and then it'll come.
The America game, last League's Cup, Zach tossing the ball to the America goalkeeper. Have you guys discussed something like that? A bit of a call out, bit of a gambit on Zach's part?
No, I think just for me, it doesn't matter if it's Zach or it's any of the younger guys. In those moments, you don't have any pressure on you as a goalkeeper. You're not expected to save everything. So how can you gain the edge? What can you do to gain the edge? The goalkeepers at the football club have wonderful personality, so I just want them to express themselves a little bit and find ways to gain edges. And I think if you look through the course of time, Emi Martinez is probably one that comes to mind right now. The way he is in those moments, expressing himself, trying to gain the upper hand. That's all I say to the guys, is find those little moments to try and gain the upper hand when the time is right. And obviously Z was fantastic for us through the course of the Leagues Cup last year, and the penalty shootout run. But yeah, no, just what you feel in the moment can give you the edge.
Thanks, Sharpe.